Wine had a hard time sleeping on the bed, so used to the comfortable soft mattress back in her home. So when it was morning, she was half asleep, eyes stinging due to sleeplessness. Jungkook, on the other hand, seemed quite fresh. The man hardly slept for 3 hours, she believed. He was mostly on call after they got in bed by 5 a.m. The night they spent watching a movie to get a little comfortable with each other, slept on their sides of the bed, and woke up by 8 a.m. She was a heavy sleeper. Everything was like a torture she was trying not to speak about. She didn't know how to say it without sounding rude. Jungkook was nothing but a sweetheart towards her this whole time. Jungkook, you can sleep on our way there. She simply nodded, trying her best to eat the food Jungkook made her. She was hungry. Also didn't want to spend their whole time in a car, empty stomach. It was a long journey. So, once they were done and left the home, she found a car waiting in front of the home, which clearly didn't belong to her. An SUV on the back, with three men dressed up from head to toe guarding the area. One of them came forward, greeting the two with a good morning. We have received ma'am's luggage from her home. The arrangements are done, he said as he opened the car door for Jungkook. On your command. Jungkook, thank you, Louis, but I will drive myself. He held open the passenger's door for Ryan himself, and she quietly took a seat while he himself got in the driving seat. The three men disappeared in the black SUV that followed their car. To say she was surprised would be an understatement. Whose house was it? She asked, looking back towards the home once. I borrowed it from friend for a night. I had no plans of staying in a hotel. I'm sorry you couldn't sleep because of that. Jungkook said, Wan whined as she closed her eyes, resting against the seat. Why wouldn't you stay in a hotel if you could afford it? He couldn't. Bringing a lady back to hotel would be a headline of morning's paper, and he had no plans of announcing his wedding that way. He simply smiled at her. He only found her adorable and held her hand. Jungkook, I'm sorry. She stared at their intertwined hands. Was she supposed to pull away? Wasn't he much better than Jake, who left her on the altar? Jungkook, it won't take much in the flight. You can sleep once we reach home. When did he even book the tickets? She had a lot of questions, but she was still wondering if she was supposed to ask them. He said he was a John. Did he really belong to that elite family? So once they reached the airport, Jungkook had taken her to the private jet he owned. The interior nothing less than a luxurious hotel with couches, bed, billiards, and a huge LED included. Wine's eyes fell on the magazine placed in front of her. Her husband was on the cover, the magazine titled The Most Successful Family of Asia. It was really him. Wine, why did you agree to marry me? Someone you didn't even know. Jungkook, our fathers are great friends. Sensing your father's trouble, he offered his son to be replaced with the groom, and that's how I ended up there. Which was completely true. The only thing he hid was that he was behind all the planning. Wine, Dad knew you? Jungkook, of course, Wine. He's a businessman. Wine, he didn't tell me a thing. I was supposed to know the man I'm getting married to. Jungkook, I'm sorry again. I asked him not to. I didn't mean to put you under pressure. I wanted you to get comfortable with me first. Wine. Seriously, Jungkook, how many more times are you going to apologize? What else did you do? That's it. Nothing more than that. She was getting irritated and he couldn't blame her for her confusion over the events that happened within a night. Wine. You have no idea how confused I am. I really am desperate to know why Jake ran away. He was so happy with me. We did our wedding shopping together. He couldn't possibly run away like this. I have no idea if I'm supposed to move on and accept where I am or just run away. This is driving me insane. Jungkook, you are my wife now, Ryan. I hope you realize the fact that he left you on the altar. I am hoping for a chance to. After that, if you wish, you can step back. Lie. He knew he was lying, and he was not the man to put the foundation of such relationship over a lie. But he wanted her, and if that's the only way he could get her, he would. Sorry for the last time, princess. I will tell you the truth, but only after you accept me fully. Ryan reached Jungkook's mansion not long after. The place screamed luxury and wealth. The mattress was the softest once she dropped herself over it and slept without another word. She slept so heavily she never felt Jungkook's arms around her body or her willingly snuggling in his embrace. It took her a month to finally move over Jake and accept Jungkook as her husband. She was in fact really happy with him. He had proven to be the best husband a man could be for his lady. Handling such business, he was an extremely busy man, but he knew how to find time for his lady. If he got late, he had his way of spoiling her. Vine was sitting near the pool by the night when Jungkook returned home. His coat was off, sleeves rolled up, and two buttons undone. Vine, you're back. She extended an arm towards him. Getting a nice welcome like this from his wife every night he returned home was another achievement of his. Jungkook leaned down to her level and pecked her lips. Jungkook, were you getting bored? She shook her head as Jungkook took a seat beside her, wrapping his arm around her waist. Ryan, it's peaceful here. I was actually waiting for you so we can eat together. Jungkook, I have something to tell you. What is it? She asked, turning towards him, her all attention on him. Jungkook, it might come as a shock to you, but I hope you try to understand me and think about it before making any decision. Ryan, sounds like something I'm supposed to be scared of. Jungkook tied her hair behind her ear, trying to keep her as close as he could. Jungkook, Jake never cheated on you. I've been meaning to make you mine and scared him away. Jungkook stared in her eyes to look for any sort of reaction. There was none. I knew, she said. Getting shocked like this was not in his list of tonight, but here he was. I got to talk to Jake and he told me everything. Jungkook, why didn't you say anything? Wine, I was waiting for you to tell me yourself. At first, I was angry, really angry, but every time I tried to complain, you only spoiled me more with love and affection. She turned towards the pool, eyes unfocused as the room around the area. Wine, it took me time, but I accepted whatever was happening, because Jake would never be able to love me like you did. Junko shifted in his place, holding her hand. Wine, you wanted me, you got me. In the wrong way it is. But I will pretend it will never happen as long as you promise me to never lie again. Trust is an important thing, Jungkook. Please don't break it, Mayan said. Jungkook, I won't. Trust me, I won't ever lie again. Just, it was the last confession I needed to make to you of my wrongdoings. Mayan, even if it means losing me? Yes. He gulped. I won't ever lie even if it means losing you. Jungkook wrapped his arm around her waist, resting his chin on her shoulder, her back against his front as he placed his tender kisses on her skin. Jungkook, thank you for waiting for me to confess. I loved you, and as selfish as it was, I wanted you to be mine, and mine only.